Boom, live and direct. Yeah. Only us can save ourselves. Only me can save myself. Like people can inspire you, can give you good, but often it's always you get stuck up in the dream of someone else. Often, that's what happens. But if you're well centered on if you're well centered, just if you're well centered, they cannot hypnotize you with their bullshit. If you're well centered, they cannot hypnotize you with their fucking nonsense and bullshit and lies and deception. It cannot get to you. It's just because we're misaligned, we're not centered. Once you're centered, then everything is aligned. The heart, the soul, the mind, the body, all the vibrations are great. They cannot get to you. Once you really know who you are, what can attain you? That's why I tell you, people that come with bad vibes, they waste their time. I know who I am. I know who I am. Nothing can... come on. This is pure nonsense. Changing people's mind and... you know, we should focus on ourselves. Check ourselves before we check others. But we're so stuck up in that realm of low vibration of Babylon that we're only focusing on others. Where the focus should be on our inner journey, awakening, the inner purpose that we all have, but that we're not all into it. You know, some people, I don't know, they're me anyway. I kind of see nobody anymore. It's like I'm blind to people now, because it's very hard to find someone that live the truth on a profound. I'm not saying I'm better than others, but to find a vibration that match my vibe. I have some people that I vibe with, yeah, but it's hard with adult these days. It's hard with adult to get a real feeling, a real conversation with an adult. It's hard. We're all so programmed and so all stuck up. We're all stuck up in our heads, and to find someone, you know, to have a deep conversation with someone, that person has to be present with you at the moment. But most of the time, even conversation I have with my wife, sometimes it's very hard to catch up or to catch the essence, because sometimes it's either by me, I'm very present, I'm trying, but sometimes people are in their head too much, so it's hard to like, you know, the conversation you're gonna have sometime is gonna be always like, it's hard to trust people. It's even hard to trust your own wife, to trust your husband, to trust anybody. That's why trusting yourself is very important. I don't trust too many people. I trust myself. Even, you know, sometimes you can have the best relationship that there is with a woman, but still the trust is not complete, because from one day to another it can collapse. It can collapse, the relationship, a marriage, so it's got to be very strong, but both person has to be very strong, because if not, the whole thing can collapse. It's like a house of cards. At one point, after the years, if you don't nurture it, you don't nourish it, you don't spiritually and physically, not only physically, but spiritually also, there's going to be a great connection. If not, things are going to die slowly. That's for sure. Once one person is awake and the other one is not like totally seeing the big picture, it's hard. It's hard to cope for every day, to cope with it, for sure. Talking from my own experience. No, it's not. For sure, I don't judge. I go in more into the compassionate state than the state of judgment or stuff like that. But I don't know. There's something that sometimes people are too stuck up in their mind. I have problem like just engaging on a deep conversation. Sometimes is a rough one. It's a rough one, because you get not only people that you live with, but everybody in everyday life. I get so confronted with the nonsense and people living like, I have enough of the lie and the nonsense, and so I want to hang out with if I interact with people, it's gotta be on the real, on the truth base. There's gotta be some truth involved, because there's too much lies, too much nonsense. That's the thing on this space. Too much lies and nonsense, and not enough people living from a true values, you know, with, I don't know. And also the misalignment, just the misalignment that we think we're super aligned and we're all that, because we're very arrogant, we think we know everything, everything's defined. That's the problem with people, I think, why we're so living dead, because everything is defined to us. The whole reality is defined from A to Z, and we don't question it. So we end up like zombies, zombified. We end up zombified. Totally zombified, because if we would not be zombified, this place would look differently. People would connect with each other, people would care, people would show love, not fucking just for themselves. That kind of vibe, that's the vibe of everyday people, pretty much. That's what you have pretty much all the time, is people that very selfish. It's a very selfish world. People are very selfish with everything, their whole life. So we can all make a change. We can all become better. We can all get rid of our evil ways. Burn the evil man and its evil ways with the spiritual fire. That's what we need. Burn the evil ways. Not too many people are even willing to look at their evil ways. They prefer the comfort of Babylon. They prefer the dream of hell, because that's what they fall in love with. They have fell in love with the dream of hell. I did for a certain time of my life. Now I'm out of this dream of hell. Now I'm seeing the light, and I intend to shine that light of the divine, for sure. I don't intend to remain silent for the rest of my days. I don't have fear anymore to speak out and to say what I have to say. Nothing can... once you can clear that fear, not only the fear of what people think of you, but when you realize that the only thing to fear is fear itself. You're fearless. You love fearlessly. You become like a light being, a beacon of light. Beacon of light. That's what we should all be, beacons of light. We have our beacon of light right there. Should all shine bright like the sun. But for some reason we shrink and shrink and shrink, and most of us never wake up from that nightmare. I'm out.